Hey, what's up, everybody? This is SUN, and today I have a great news that I want to share with you guys because I just got a 5 video. It just came out recently, and the following is my first translation of Jeremy Lin's interview, and it's the first complete translation of his interview, and I hope you guys will enjoy the video. And so now let's check it out.
Welcome back to another episode of What Is This? That's the name Jin gave because we have no idea what this is yet. We haven't landed on a name. We're starting to feel like this should be a podcast. This is my third recording with Joe. And if you have any ideas for the name of the podcast, topics you want to see, people you want to see me chop it up with, you can go to my Instagram broadcast channel to give your thoughts. Wei, welcome back. Do you have a cool name? What would be a cool name for this? Because you have another podcast called JJJ Unfiltered, which is a pretty nice name. What should the name of this one be?
I don't know. I don't know either. I think we're gonna need your guys' help on this.
Well, we are right around the corner. We are into December now, and the team is doing well. We had a strong start to the season. And as we head into December, we want to talk about Christmas, holiday traditions in the Lin household. What do you remember about Christmas growing up?
I think our biggest tradition was not having a tradition.
Yep, no tradition. Our biggest tradition was no tradition.
We never grew up with a Christmas tree, not one.
Why not? Because we wanted one, right? Me, you, and Gaga wanted one.
Mom just refused to get us one. I forget her exact reasoning, though. Do you know?
It's the same reasoning for everything. 我们没钱. We don't have enough money.
Yeah, it's probably just too much work, too.
Yeah.
Like, I even go through that. Like, I put my Christmas tree in my house right now is 24/7 throughout the year. Like, I literally don't put it away because I'm like, dude, it's way too much work. I gotta pack it up, put it in the box. Like, nah, it's sitting there. But like, yeah, I mean, Christmas was always our favorite holiday. Yeah. Like, bar none.
Bar none. Bar none. That's a phrase that Josh, our older brother, loves to say to sound smart, and Joe is now stealing it to sound smart on the podcast. Bar none.
Bar none. It's just the best holiday year. It's Jesus' birth. Had gifts for everybody. We just didn't have a tree.
Yeah, I remember every time. This was an annual debate about whether we could get a tree or not, because obviously growing up, all of our friends had trees. They wrapped their gifts. They put it under the tree. They had a whole thing, and they had Christmas outfits and whatnot. And my mom would always end up saying, when you have a house one day, you can have a tree.
Yeah.
And when you're 18 or when you move out and you make your own income, you can run your family the way you want to run your family. And so, when I turned pro, the first thing I did was I got a tree, but I didn't realize there's levels to the Christmas tree because, I never had one growing up. And I remember I got it from like the dollar store or from like IKEA or something. And but needless to say, I have advanced and leveled up in my Christmas trees through the years, but not to the point where I have it up year round like you. So
you're actually willing to take it down and stuff. But we didn't have anything. We didn't have like stockings, nothing. Like, I don't even think we had lights in our house.
Yeah.
Like, it was just straight up gifts.
And and they weren't wrapped. They were wrapped in the plastic bag that my mom bought them in. And then it was like, here you go, Merry Christmas. And it would just be like, oh, a GameStop bag.
这边跟大家补充一下，什么是 GameStop。GameStop 是美国知名的游戏专卖店，类似图中这样又称作游戏驿站。好吧，我们继续看下去吧。
And then you'd open it, and then it was basically always.
We would wrap it though.
Oh, we would wrap it.
Yeah.
Oh, we would.
I feel like we would.
Mom wouldn't wrap the ones she gave to us.
Yeah, but if we
gave it to each other, yes.
If we gave it to family members, we would wrap it.
Yeah.
We had a bunch of wrapping paper and stuff.
Yeah. What's the best gift I got you?
I'll say a memorable gift that you got me. I don't know if it was Christmas or not. Was like my Oreo stuffed animal when I was super young. And you remember?
Was that from Disney World or something?
It was from like a Vegas. I think it might have been a Vegas show.
Yeah.
Where they had, I guess, tigers, and it was a black and white tiger.
So people don't know this, but Joe, growing up, he had this polar bear.
Yeah.
he could not do anything. He could not go anywhere. He could not go to sleep. He could do anything.
Every road trip.
Everything had to have this polar bear. And we had washed this polar bear so many times. It was on this last like limbs, and it was like all the stuffing was like deflated, and it was just this like ragged little polar bear, and Joe just loved it. And so I wanted to get you Oreo, this striped black and white tiger, because I was like, man, what's the closest thing to a polar bear that could replicate it so that we don't have to keep taking this raggedy, smelly polar bear with us everywhere we go.
Not smelly. We washed it a lot. I want to know what your favorite Christmas gift is.
That you got me?
Or just from any family member growing up.
I honestly can't remember any of them. They were all Super Nintendo games for like the first like 6 years, and then they were N64 games.
这边跟大家介绍一下 N64 是于1996年问世的任天堂家用电视游乐器，它的游戏片也主要是以卡夹为主。
I think probably NFL Blitz. Because I remember I really wanted it, and I had seen like the trailer, and I think I had played it at my friend's house, but I really wanted NFL Blitz.
We played that a lot.
We played that so much. I smacked you all the time. And then you would get so mad, but I mean, you were a lot younger than me. One of the things that we would do for Christmas is we would always go to Lake Tahoe.
我又来了，大家。这边要再跟大家介绍一下太浩湖。太浩湖是位于加州和内华达州边界上的一座淡水湖泊，同时它也是美国第2深的湖泊。
We would go to Stardust. We had a timeshare or whatever there. And do you remember the snowball fight, our very first snowball fight that we had as a family on the way to Stardust?
So I don't actually remember it, but you guys, we talk about it every year. So and now it's like I do remember it, but I actually like my childhood memory, like I don't have that. I just know that somebody got extremely mad.
Yeah, so we would have this tradition where we would have this minivan, and we would put all the middle seats down. And so me and both my brothers, we'd be there, we'd laying there. We'd always have to listen to my dad's same mixtape, and it was the Beatles. We would start a fire. It was just like old school soundtracks, and we listened to it all the time. And so as we were on the way to Lake Tahoe, the minute that we saw snow, we were like, oh my goodness, we gotta stop. We gotta have a snowball fight, because this is actually our first time seeing snow, and so we get out and we start having this snowball fight, and it's super fun. And we don't realize how cold the snow is, and we're trying to do a snowball fight with no gloves, and then we had to go get our gloves and whatever. And so my older brother packs this huge snowball, and he launches it in the air, and my mom is super far away, and she is like trying to pack her snowball. She turns around, and the snowball lands right directly in her face, smack dab in her face. And she gets hit, and she just goes crazy. She's like, everyone get in the car right now. Snowball fight is over. And this is all in Chinese, because when my parents would get mad, they would yell in Chinese because they didn't want to make any mistakes. Yelling in English, they might make a mistake.
Or risk sounding embarrassing.
And then we would start laughing. They'd be like yelling at us, and then they would say something like,
it's like everything's going to be 标准. So it's like, we know what's up.
So my mom just starts going crazy, and you could just see my dad is like, right in the car right away. He's like, I'm in there. Like,
he's probably already halfway in there before, right as he sees the trajectory of the snow. He's like, all right.
and then Josh was trying to argue a little bit, and I was trying to argue a little bit because we were having so much fun. But I saw like the rage in my mom, and I was like, yo, we gotta get in the car. Everyone get in the car. And so that was the end of our first snowball fight. Thanks, Mom.
Also goes back to Josh being the most mischievous one out of all of us.
Yeah.
Secretly though, like, sneakily.
Oh, yeah, because when my mom got hit, the first person she yelled at was me. She turned and yelled at me, and she's like, Jeremy! And I'm like, what? I didn't even throw it. But, like, she didn't see it coming. But, I mean, yeah, that goes to... that's a story of my childhood. But that was one funny Christmas story that I remember. And another one, not so funny, more on the sad side, I'll let you take it away, is... this was 2011, Christmas 2011.
Yeah, so you're in Houston for a short period of time.
I had just gotten cut by the Warriors.
And then Houston picked you up, I guess.
Yep.
And then you were just practicing with them.
Yep.
And then you get cut on Christmas. And our whole family was there because I guess this was during the summer.
No, Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
It's Christmas. So
Christmas, but then-
you were on break. That's why, because everyone was on break. So you were in school.
Okay.
You were on break.
Okay,
Gago was in
yeah.
grad school, and he was in break. And I was in Houston, stuck for training camp. So we were all like, well, I guess we're gonna celebrate in Houston.
These are our most precious break of the year.
Yeah.
Christmas break is like the best time of the year. We all get like a month off, but then our whole family, we took this month to just, be with you while you're going through
Depression.
yeah, hard times in the NBA.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess you get cut and then we're all just chilling in the hotel room, but like so sad and like no one really knows what to say. I think we just played card games the whole time. Like I think that's pretty much what we did every day. That's what I remember. I don't really remember doing much else. But then it's like we had to fly on Christmas because you got cut, you moved everything out, and it's like, all right, well, we're not just gonna spend the night here because there's no point. So we had to fly on Christmas back home. Yeah, not much words were said.
Oh, we had nothing to say.
But at least, I mean, even for you, I don't know, like, it's probably the worst for you, but at least, like, you had your family with you, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what your mind was going through, but.
Yeah, so prior to Christmas, on Christmas Eve, the Rockets actually called my agent and said, we really want to keep Jeremy, but we have 15 roster spots, 15 guaranteed contracts. And they said, we will work for the next 24 hours to try to trade one of our players to open a roster spot for Jeremy because he really impressed us in training camp. So they're working the phones. Nothing happens. Obviously, this 24 hours is super nerve-wracking because this is my career on the line. And I'm thinking, I had just gotten cut by Golden State. So I'm like, if I get cut again 4 weeks later, I'm probably done. Like, this is probably the end of my NBA career. And so it's very nerve-wracking. And finally, the call comes at noon. And I'm staring at my phone all morning. And the call comes, and it's my agent. And they're like, hey, man, they're cutting you. And I remember it was just like, I didn't have to tell you guys what happened. Like, you guys are looking at my face as I was talking on the phone, and I was just like, and so I remember on that day, I was just like, we got to get out of here. Like, let's go. And so this was right at noon, like 12:30. And we go to the airport, and then we had to take like a 3 to 3.5 hour flight back to Palo Alto, back to SFO. And that was like one of the most sad plane flights. I'm just sitting there for 3 hours like, dude, it's Christmas. I just got cut, and I think my NBA career is over. Like you said, I'm glad I had my family, but that was something that always, for me, without a doubt, like, and 2 months later was insanity because the Knicks had picked me up, but obviously I didn't know that yet. But if I didn't have my family there, I wouldn't have made it to the insanity. I definitely would have quit ahead of time. And I definitely would have, it would not have been the same. So appreciate you holding it down for me during Christmas.
Yeah, I mean, I had no choice, but.
You wanted to be there, right?
Yeah, of course.
Wait, say it again. You wanted to be there, right?
Of course, I wanted to be there. Mom would have if I wasn't.
Oh, we got to cut that one out. But you want to be there.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I wanted to be locked up in a hotel playing cards every day.
Hey, we also had our Dota laptops.
Fresh meat.
They're still good times.
Those are good times. Thanks again for our special guest, my little brother, Joseph Shuwei Lin, a.k.a. at Joe_Linstagram. And he's got a fire new podcast. What is it?
It's JJJ_unfiltered.
Yep, you gotta check it out. He talked about a cool story with Kobe Bryant and other stuff on there.
It's a funny one. Do you know it?
Of course I know. We heard you share that story. You share that story once a year. Fool.
No.
I've heard you share that story so many times.
It's funny though.
It is a funny story. But you gotta check it out.
Yeah.
At JJJ_unfiltered. Cool. You share that story every freaking year.
No, I don't.
Or maybe Josh does. One of you two.
Yeah, I don't
Next time
share.
you two
Dude,
are
I haven't
together,
talked
you
to
guys talk about it.
Josh Van.
Yeah.